So, obviously my specific place that I feel a connection to is Scarborough. Do you feel a connection to a specific place?
My place is Gower, but it's also the people that come along with it for me.
Yeah.
Personally, because I've been about so much, it's more about the people I'm with than the place I'm in. I think it is the people that make the place rather than the other way around.
And
Yeah.
being with like my people, because I often feel like I don't fit in with other students around me, whether that's because I'm older or because I've had different experiences. I don't feel like Welsh people, that's quite a strong identity. And I've only ever lived 3 places in my life: Swansea, Senegal and Leeds. When I left Senegal, I brought a big bag of scraps of sort of West African fabrics that the tailor had cut off people's boo-boos, their traditional dress. But that, for me, it has such a strong connection to that experience and the amount it changed me. It holds a lot of memories. Even though I was only there 10 and a half months, those fabrics sort of, I don't know, it takes me straight
In
back.
Hertfordshire, in the bit where I'm from, maybe it's just like some weird like buried memory of like science classes in like year 7 or 8 or something. But we learnt that the town was basically built on a bunch of chalk.
Yeah.
And you can't see any chalk. But I've been asked this question before, and for some reason my mind jumped to chalk.
Yeah.
If it was Surrey, it would be alcohol. I'm not going to elaborate.
That's fair. That's fair.
Sort of the shutdown of the mines, that is fundamental for where Wales is now politically and economically, and so those sort of things were really, really important and were taught, and they're part of your history and they're part of your culture, and they're why you sort of have to be proud of where you're from, and you have to fight for what you think is right. That was really sort of pushed through in the history.
Because on my mum's side of the family, they're all from Hong Kong. And the history of Hong Kong so closely ties in with everything that happened on my mum's side of the family that induced them to come over here to England, that kind of spurred all of their beliefs, and everything about them is very connected there.
I think there's places you don't have to have lived through it for them still to be important to you.
Yeah.
And I think your family is quite important to that.
Yeah, there's definitely a very strong connection between history of where your parents and where the people who you're surrounded by come from, and who you are and who you become when you're with them.
Yeah.
And it's somewhere I've tried so long to escape, because I don't know, I was just desperate to get away from where I grew up, I guess.
Because I'm one of the first ones in my family to go to university, so no one in my family has ever escaped in that sense.
Yeah.
They've never felt the need to.
Yeah.
But I think because of that, I didn't feel like I was escaping. Yeah, because you came to Scarborough just before Christmas.
Yeah.
And it was quite interesting, like, because I think I agree, I take for granted, like, all the stuff you know about a place.
Yeah.
And, like, how well you know it.
Yeah.
And so when you have to, like, bring someone who's never been there before, and you're like, oh, like, this is significant, like, you can't always, it doesn't seem like it is, but it really is within.
But yeah, it's nice to share your own love and for your place with someone else.
People like when people share places that they've been, where they've where they're from, and people come and see them. I think there's a level of, it helps people understand better, grow up. A lot of people like who you grew up with, you may talk to them, you might not talk to them, but you still have so many shared experiences, so much understanding of how things ended up the way they were with each other because you grew up that way.
Yeah, I think it's really true about being young people in a place.